Coley, we're in the Premiership final. How good?
We are, Ben. Who would have thought it that a year ago, even 6 months ago, we'd be sat here having just qualified for a final? Really good feeling. It was an awesome atmosphere on Saturday. If semi-finals always come down to the final, or a lot of the games so tight and everything. I'm pretty sure everyone in the ground told me afterwards how they're having a heart attack, and we made it interesting. Well, Sale definitely did, and I was nervous for a large part of that game.
Yeah, I was as well. What a day! I thought the occasion, the atmosphere was brilliant, and I just think when sports got jeopardy in it like it did yesterday, and it's winner gets to the final, it was all on display. The collision work, the physicality of it, the way the game momentum shifted for both teams, so much at stake, and I just thought the game was a real cracker. It was hard watching, like sitting there on the bench and watching it, like you get absorbed by the game and you try and sort of stay calm and think about, okay, well, when you come on, I still got a job to do and everything like that. But like, you can't help but just sort of be so invested in it. And there were some cracking moments, Radis' first try, but his second try was an absolute beauty. And then Sale, absolute full credit to them. They worked themselves back into the game. They're a tough outfit, Sale. We knew it was going to have to be a huge performance from ourselves as a team, and we equally knew that it was going to come down to the final moments, and it absolutely did. That back end of that defensive display, Coley, when they're holding the ball, and they've got guys like George Ford just looking for any opportunity to exploit, and they're going multi-phase, and you're just trying to D up as well as you can. You don't want to give a penalty away because that will invite a kick to the corner, and then they'll be 5 meters out. Then that power game, it was all hands on deck. But that's what I'll miss, Coley. Like the pressure of it, the moment, the crowds in it, the noise, your teammates are digging in, and it's just all on the line because that's what I love. That is exactly what I love about this game, is the pressure, the jeopardy, those moments. And I loved it yesterday. I loved it.
Oh yeah, well, I was thinking about that actually before the game, and I thought it's just one of those things that went through my mind. It's like, where would you rather be? Obviously, you're sort of nervous because it's semi. The season could finish there, and then you could have different outcomes. But you kind of as a player, you actually get to control the outcome, or you get to play some part in the outcome of the game. And you kind of think not the pressure of that, but say the privilege and the pressure of that kind of stuff is, why you play the game, isn't it? Really, because the easy thing to do would be sort of sit in the stand and let it unfold, and then just be an active participant in that regard. But actually playing and having some form of investment, but you could win or lose, but you actually played a part in it. That's, I think, the reason why we play the game, isn't it? Really,
you feel privileged to be a part of it, don't you? How did you find driving towards the game, mate? Arriving at the stadium and all that build up. How did you find that?
How did I find that? I didn't, because it was a final game, etc. I wasn't that didn't really cross my mind. It didn't cross my mind at all, really, because that was the week before. I watched the Bath Bristol game Friday night, and really enjoyed watching that game. And I thought I was all right. Then I literally woke up Saturday morning. I wouldn't say with a cloud over my head, but I was definitely, I don't know. I think your body and your mindset just knows that you got something big coming up. Because I think it was almost, I was short with people, but I probably wasn't the most sociable that morning, even though I wasn't trying not to be. But I think you just want the game to be played. You want to get on with the game. I think, the build-up and stuff is the car journey in, even pre-match and stuff. There was nothing different, but I just thought you just wanted to get to the game and get on with it. And that's what I felt like. That was just myself. I didn't want to speak for anyone, but you know what I mean? There was a certain sort of I think some of the boys actually, probably a lot of the squad, I'll speak for them, you just want to get to one of those big occasions with knockout rugby. You want to get to it as quick as possible and play the game.
Yeah, you do. It's actually the waiting around for it, which is, it's horrible. You do, Coley. You're ready to go, aren't you? I said to Izzy Parise after Check did his speech, sort of gives us a talk, sort of an hour before kickoff, and I said to Iz straight away, I was like, you just want the game to be kicking off in 2 more minutes. Everyone's ready to go. You can sense it. You can feel it off each other. you just see it in people's eyes. Like there's this underlying focus and like adrenaline in the air, and this, not nerves, but like this excited, like we need to be on it sort of feeling. And it's awesome.
What's weird is I don't think, or in my case, you don't put it on. It just is there. And I think it's probably built into our psyche, like through the week and stuff. And, you know, you sort of relaxed and cool and calm and all the rest of it, and you go through your training and that kind of stuff. But your body just seems to, your body and your mind seem to know game day. Yeah. And I just think it's something probably within human nature on a deeper level, without getting too weird, that you're just ready for, you see body prepping you for a game, a performance, a physical battle that, you know, you have to go through.
Coley, how did you sort of feel pre-game and during and everything like that? Because semi-finals are different. They have a very different feel to them.
Yeah, I probably overall felt more, I wouldn't say emotional, but more down to business before the game. I think during the game, you're living every moment, understand the atmosphere, like you're doing every catch and pass, and you're trying to work out, like as we do when we sit at the bench, you know, we chat to each other, you talk about how teams are playing, what we need to do, what they need to do, what problems being posed, what's going on at the breakdown, for instance, and that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, coming on the field, it was kind of, I got sort of a couple of minute warning, or might be like a 5-minute warning saying you're on the field soon, get ready, and you're like, I'm good to go. It's like, you ready? It's like, yeah, I'm good. It's like, you ready? It's like, yeah, I'm good. And then you go on the field and play, and say we've got another great reception. But then you're into the game. Once you're into the game, it's just the flow of the game, and obviously moments in it. I mean, I was blowing up my arse. I'm not gonna lie. I did one ball, we went about 20 metres forward, and after that, an Izzy scored. And after that, I think I'd lost the ability to run. So, yeah, wasn't the best. Hopefully, Czech won't watch that and select me on the final, or not select me on the final based upon my 20 minutes of walking around. But yeah, and afterwards it kicked off and was great. How was your match day, Ben?
I just loved the day, as I said before, mate. I enjoy pressure games. I do, and you don't always get it right, but I love them. And yeah, like coming on and the atmosphere and even the warm up, you could sense it. Once again, the crowd have been awesome for themselves and you, Cole, haven't they? Really, like even when we went for a warming up during the game, you know, we always got an awesome reception, which is honestly I'm so appreciative of. But coming on and stuff, yeah, like I was really focused and clear about what I needed to do. Like Sale had a bit of momentum at that point, and for me it was obvious, which I felt it was like the game needs to be played in their half. You need to minimum the amount of opportunities that we give to them in terms of trying to get break down jackals and things like that. The ball needed to be in their half. We needed to try and squeeze them set piece wise. So I was really, really clear, and Sale just scored at that point, and I just knew that, right, this is how the game needs to play out. And you know, I think like anyone, you know, you have confidence in the way that you see the game and the way that you want to do that. And then you back the boys. You know, I know that at that point, with yourself, Coley, with James Cronin and Charlie Clare and all the replacements are coming on. Like these are fresh legs, you know, Rog coming on, like big bodies, Mecca, fresh legs, big bodies. Like the game needs to be played down there, especially when it's that tight. And we're able to squeeze them. And then Izzy Parise's try was just like, it was just awesome. Like the noise, and you know, that's a special in big games like that, you've got to have game breakers, and he's certainly that. The guy's been injured since Saracens. Since we played them at home, you know, he's worked hard to get himself back fit, and no, when he came on and he did that, like that's the magic where, you know, when it's two good teams and not much in between them, you need someone with a bit of gold dust, and he absolutely brought that. I did think though, in the whole, I felt like, you know, first half, even coming at half time, Coley, I was confident. I felt that we were dominant in a lot of the collisions, dominant in a lot of the areas, or winning territory battle. And actually, I think Sale probably were lucky to be within touching distance at half time. So it was that weird moment at half time where they're probably going in thinking, okay, we've been a little bit under the cosh, but we're well in it. And we're like, we've been dominant, but we haven't actually made it pay as much as we'd like. So yeah, you're wrapped up in the emotion of it anyway. But yeah, by the time the game then finishes, Coley, that's when I felt emotional, and yeah, just that moment of like, it is relief. It is genuine, like this huge like weight off your shoulders, because it's relief. You've achieved what you wanted to achieve in terms of getting to the next stage. Like, but equally, I think for a lot of people probably think that we go in the change rooms and we all go crazy. Like, it isn't like that at all. Like, the job isn't done yet.
Yeah, I would talk about half time, just touching on that. Like, it was a bit strange not strange, but having watched the game the night before where Bristol are ahead, I think they were 13-6 at half time, then Bath basically scored first in the second half. It's like that first half, you kind of like, you want to get more. And I say at half time, it's kind of like, yes, we feel confident and stuff that we've been not in control, but we've been on top in certain aspects of the game. But there's always that fear at half time that Sale will do something different second half, or the referee will just sort of go, actually, the penalty counts in your favour, or swing it back the other way, and one score or one bounce of the ball, and they're back in it. So I think like half time was sort of, you're confident, aren't you? But at the same time, it's a bit of like, we're not out of sight, as we found out where, Sale brought it back to 16 all and stuff. So a bit of that. And I say afterwards, I think like it's weird, and it's probably a bit cheesy to say, but it's kind of like you're grateful you get another week together as a team, because going out, and this is where I said that you feel for, say, like Bristol and Sale and stuff, is like going out in a semi is one of the worst feelings. You might as well just not get there in some regards, because you sort of have all the hype of like the belief you're going to the game, we're going to win, we're going to do this, and you don't even think about the final, but it's just another week, and then literally you lose, and it's like, right, well, this group's never going to be together again, and we've sort of missed out on our achievement, and you're like, oh, should we go on a social? And it's like, well, what are we celebrating? Oh, the year. And you're like, well, have we booked anything? Well, no, because we thought we were going to be playing next week, so we haven't booked anything. And it's like, right. And I'm not saying that you need to go on the piss and you need celebration, but there's no, almost semi-finals, it feels like the season isn't, the circle's not fully rounded, you know what I mean? Say, because you haven't got that ability to actually go out as a group and sort of grieve in some regards of the fact you've lost or anything like that. It's just, yeah, it's strange. And to say you have that emotion, we've lost in semis and stuff, and sometimes you go over the international duty. I think like England and the Lions are meeting up on like mud today. But you just, as a group, you never get that moment back, and you just kind of like, it just feels a bit incomplete, doesn't it?
It's so harsh. It's so harsh and horrible because, and like I say, Colin, we've lost semi-finals. You aren't looking further ahead, but you just losing just isn't even on your radar. You know, like you're so focused on winning that game that if you don't, it's a horrible, bizarre feeling, because you say, Colin, it's then like, oh, well, now what? Well, now your off-season starts. Okay. And some lads are going to, have England camps. Some guys were getting ready for the Lions. Some guys will probably on a social today. And then they're like, right, we better book a holiday and get away. And it's a really horrible feeling. But I think, as a whole, I think in terms of the product of Premiership Rugby, in terms of semi-final, that wasn't a cracker. Like, it was an absolute cracker. And we got on the right side of it. And we deserve to be on the right side of it. I think afterwards as well, though, Cole, I did take a moment to, once it was all finished, I was obviously chatting to some of their boys, caught up with Fordy and Curry and Bev and Rod and guys like that, just chatting to them briefly. But then afterwards, I did take a moment just to walk around the whole stadium, the ground, and just thank everyone. And it was really nice, and I'm glad I did that. And again, that was emotional, because that was my time. I felt like that one lap I did on my own was my opportunity just to take it in on my own, just to sort of just appreciate it and be like, that felt like a chapter closing right there. Like, I'm never playing at Welford Road again. Like, it was like, thank you everyone. Right, that's done. That is officially done. But yeah, I enjoyed that, but it was quite overwhelming and emotional at times.
What does this club mean to you?
Everything, really. I'll say I came here as a boy, sat up there. I've played here. Well, I joined when I was sort of 15. As I was local out on a freebie, and I sort of come through, and I've played with so many fantastic guys, players. And it's like playing in front. Some guys. It's a privilege and it's such an honour to play in front of 25,000 people here. We've done this all our careers, and some guys never get to do it. So it's a lot.
Coley, what about you, mate? How was your emotions after? You did an interview at TNT, and a lot of people said it was a fantastic interview. Really honest, felt very emotional. How did you feel?
I was more happy with, I didn't feel for myself, I felt for the team, as in winning and going to a final. And I think just, not relief there's a mix of relief of actually you won, and you get another week together, and sort of like joy of actually winning, and chatting to Fordy and stuff. But it after the game and chatting to those. But Yeah, I didn't really. For me, it was kind of like last week. I thought was more of that sort of send off, and this week was business in some regards. And I say, I think afterwards walk around and yeah, definitely so appreciate the support. But for me, the crowd was sort of like, I mean, we got great, as he said, great reception. We were warming up and stuff like that, and people shouting to us, and but it was kind of like the place was buzzing because we won and we were going to a final, and I think that's how I felt. Emotional wise, was more about the fact that we got another week and the ground and the crowd were buzzing for that. And I think that TNT interview, basically I was trying not to. Well, I didn't know how to do it, to be honest. So I basically said hello to Sam Warburton, Danny Kerr and Ugo Monroe sort of walked in. They like grabbed me and said, "No, you got to do an interview." I was like, "Why? No one needs me to do an interview." And then, did it. And, asked me a couple of questions. And I say, I'll just, again, when they ask you what this place means to you, you can't really, it's awkward because you can't really express in words what it means to you in some regards, playing at Leicester and, coming through the system and playing in front of the crowds we do and that kind of stuff. And you can never really express that in words, or I haven't got the words to say it without sounding too rehearsed. So, yeah.
Coley, Ugo actually said that we're going to be doing 15 podcasts this week and ramming it home.
We've got to get freshen up, we've got to get us right, and then we've got to look at Bath next week, and then we've got to go there and take a swing.
And record 15 podcasts. Dan Cole, thank you so much. Congratulations.
No, I'm going to tear it out.
Off, you can leave now, which is brilliant.
What I wanted to say was, yeah, you're right, Ugo. I'm going to tear the arse out of this, but I couldn't because I got halfway through. I realised I didn't want to say arse on TV, so I'd say, yeah, I'm going to rip it out of it or something like that. So I fluffed my lines, but yeah, and we haven't got time for 15. But you know what? We'll dine out on this for a long time.
We've got to enjoy the moment, Coley. I'll tell you what else. Julian Montoya's dad has got some serious moves. Don't know if you've seen the video of him dancing in the stands, but what's he like, Coley? Have you met him before?
I haven't. I actually met his mum after the game. I was in the dugout with my kids, and his mum came up to me and goes, I'm Julian's mother. And I sort of stood up and shook hands. She's like, he tells me what a great guy you are and a fantastic player. And I said, that's very kind, but he's obviously lying. And then I didn't know whether she thought I was calling into question her son's integrity or I was being funny, but she couldn't really work out what I said. So I had to quickly backtrack and be like, I take it, how long are you here for? I hope you're going to be at the final next week. And she said, yes. I was like, perfect. I'll see you there. So yes, but that was a very nice, the game, and say Julian's last game, well for her as well. I think he showed how, he was emotional. And then he did his interview, and I think you could see him welling up as he's sort of walking around. So, that was a nice moment for him, having his whole family there, obviously over from Argentina, for his final game at the ground. So, and hopefully, I'm guessing they're all at the final this week, and hopefully have a great day.
Because there's been a fair amount of coverage of both you and I. You forget like guys like Julian Montoya, of course, moving on, Handre, Pollard, and they had to say goodbye yesterday to all the fans and the stadium and everything like that as well. So it was emotional for a number of players, in that change room after that. You could see boys just hanging around a little bit longer than normal, just reflecting, enjoying that sort of moment in the change room, just trying to take it all in, and rightly so, because it's such a special club, and it's tough to say goodbye to, when we get the crowds that we do. Like, it genuinely is a privilege.
Speaking of Pollard, do you reckon we jinxed him on Thursday's episode?
Yeah, so he said to me, I spoke to him after the game, and I was like, mate, I think I jinxed you. He said, mate, you did jinx me after your comments. So for those that didn't know, I basically called him how, like, he's Mr. Iceman, and no matter what, he just wants the next kick. He's not fazed by it. And to be fair, it's exactly what happened. Second half, we had a penalty, didn't we? He missed it. We literally got a penalty in exactly the same spot. A minute later, bring me the tea. Off he goes and slots it. So, no, Handre was, tactically and like physically, and emotionally, leadership-wise, was brilliant yesterday. And I just gave him a bit of a what was it, commentator's curse they call him? Let's call it the podcast curse when it came to kicking yesterday, but. He's absolutely fine. He brushed it off. He ain't bothered, mate. He's Mr. Ice Cool.
I was a bit worried when he got melted by the post.
Oh my God. Oh my God. How bad was that? Like, he literally, like, doing all he can to try and stop a try. And it's just like, then he hit the post protector and literally got propelled, like spun around, like bounced off it. It looked bad, actually. I was thinking that is a terrible, if he's injured bad, what a terrible way to get injured bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It reminded me, I remember reading like a story about like an American football player. It was a Bronco Nagasirius one. He was a great running back, basically. I can't remember his name. But apparently he scored, and it must be like the wall, but had his head down. He basically ran through the end zone and ran into the wall at the end of the stadium, and basically got sat in his arse. And afterwards the coach was like, oh yeah, you know, great touchdown. And he's like, yeah, that last defender hit me hard. I thought that was Polly, mate. He got melted by a post.
No, Polly is absolutely fine, and it wouldn't surprise me if he goes and slots everything in the final, because that's what he does. I am going to give him some stick about his drop goal, though, as well, which I will bring up tomorrow with him.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I mean, we literally got to the middle of the pitch of the sticks. I think it was only like 20 metres out, and it was like a pop gun hit. I don't quite know why he's like a spud gun.
It was like his crossfield for Radwan. Like, fair play, Rad has been on fire, and that's one of the best tries I've seen at Welf Road. But like,
that was a great try.
And the fact that it's a great try comes on the fact that Polly hits an absolute dead duck on a crossfield.
He did, didn't he? Oh, what does it matter? It would not surprise me if he's he'll be right where he needs to be come the weekend, without doubt.
But I say, if that kick's perfect, that try is not like, it's just a simple catch and dot down.
Yeah, you're
it?
right.
But like,
if the kick's on the money, it's just like
the kick makes that try.
It does. Actually, we've got a question from Amber. Has Adam Radwan got Velcro hands? Yes, and he's got very fast legs.
He almost hung in the air as well. Like when he sort of jumped, it was sort of his ability to like jump and then just hover. That was the amazing thing. But yeah, Radwan, he's definitely added to Leicester this year. I mean, to be fair, Ollie Hassel-Collins has been on fire all year, and for half the year, he was pretty much all our attack was. It was just give it to Ollie and hopefully he'll beat somebody or run through somebody or do something. Whereas, like, say, having Radwan to balance it out just gives you, I think we always knew he was good at Newcastle, but like, even games like Bristol and stuff like that, is Bristol attack. Like, we played him away, didn't we, and turn the ball over and you kick it down the other end, and you got Ollie Hassel-Collins and Radwan, two of the quickest blokes in the league, just chasing after it. And they do it. One thing I'll give them, wingers, is like, sometimes wingers, sprinters, you kind of like, they run fast once and then they're stuffed. Whereas like those guys just eat up the meters like all day long, can go, you know, for 80 minutes, just basically chasing everything. So, yeah, fair play. Radwan's been brilliant for us, per se. So has Ollie Hassel-Collins on the other wing. Their
ability to repeated speed is phenomenal. You know, they both put themselves in the mix for England, surely. I think Ollie Hassel-Collins, for me, mate, I think he's had an outstanding season. I'd love to see him go to Argentina for England at the end of the season. I think he's been in fine form. I think he's brilliant aerially, takes people on strong, great defensively. Yeah, I think Ollie Hassel-Collins has been magnificent this season. So I'd love to see him get an England call-up. And I think Radwan he's got that much pace that it's so hard to ignore because it's such a point of difference. Because yes, all wingers are quick, but Rad's is just different level quick. And, you know, as everyone knows, there is, you know, pace is everything at times in this game.
What's Radwan been like in the changing room? You sit near him.
Very good. Settled in really, really quickly. Rad's, to be fair, he knew a few lads anyway, you know, having been in England camps and things like that. Rad's is a very likeable guy. Yeah, he's just always in a good mood, happy, good to be around, like very professional. And yeah, you can just see that he's, you know, moving clubs halfway through a season cannot be easy. You know, he's obviously relocating as well with his missus, you know, they're expecting and everything like that. It's like, you know, that's a big move doing all that. And sometimes it can take a while to settle in. But, you know, his first game was Gloucester away and he'd only turned up about 2 days before and he was exceptional. And I just don't think he's looked back. Like, he just genuinely looks like someone he's thriving in the environment right now. And, you know, the guys have welcomed him with open arms, and rightly so. You know, he slotted in for our mate, Ant Watson, lover of the pod, big part of the pod, Ant, who obviously had to retire. That's when Raders came in. But he's slotted in brilliantly, and he's just a really likeable guy. And I think, you know what else is, Coley? It's just nice having someone on your team where, same as Ollie Hassel-Collins, where you need people that can just make something happen out of nothing. And it's just, when you got people like those, players like that, it's like Izzy's try yesterday. When you got match winners, game breakers like that, again, just having that in the change room just reassures you,
I think there's more to come from Radwan off the field, by the way. Like, I can just get the sense that he's up to mischief, and he's been playing like...
Yes, he has,
been doing, like, he's all right, settling, he's sort of got the lay of the land, and he's seen what the guys are like. And basically now things are going to start disappearing, and he's going to start, just causing mischief around the place. That's what I feel. I think next year, he's going to be in amongst that changing room, being a pain in the arse. That's my prediction.
He's definitely got that in him to, I can see the prankster in him.
It's only right that we touch on our old friend of the pod, George Ford. Give the listeners a little insight into how we prepped for him during the week. Obviously, we know he's a fantastic player. Did we do anything different, or what was did we focus on him? Give the listeners a little insight into what, the team and what the backs went through this week.
Of course we focused on him. Like, George is, he's been, he's had a phenomenal season. Like, he's in fine form, isn't he? Like, how good has George Ford been? Like, he's been unbelievable. Yet again.
He's been good. Right, he's been good. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get my rant now. It's my rant. What annoys me is the people that are talking him up, say, in the media and stuff, now about how good he is and how he's missed out the lines, are the same pricks that slagged him off in the autumn. So we've always been consistent on George Ford. Everyone's saying how brilliant he is now. He's been brilliant all year, and he's been brilliant for fucking years. So I'm glad he's getting some attention. Everyone's talking him up. But let's just appreciate how good he's been for 15 years.
Coley, you couldn't have said it better, mate. Like, you couldn't have said it better. It's so, like for me, like, how good does he have to keep being for people to realise? Like, he's phenomenal, and appreciate him for what he is, which is one of the best 10s that this country's ever produced. Like, he is amazing. And people go, oh, your mates him. Like, no, even if I wasn't, like, he is that good. So what did we try and do yesterday? Well, we respect him hugely. A lot of us have played with him. We know how good he is. And with George, like, you try, like all ball players, you try and take their time away. That's the main thing. And you try and win collisions so that, with someone like Fordy, you don't want him getting quick ball, back-to-back quick ball. So it all comes around the collision work. When their forwards are carrying it, can you win that collision? Can you slow down the breakdown so he's got half a second less in terms of organising and things like that? And, you can do your utmost to try and stop him, but he's still going to pull out stuff, which he so often does. So you're right. What you said there, Coley, is exactly right. How good does someone have to be to get the full appreciation? Especially when every single player that's ever played with him or against him says the same thing, that he's amazing. Look at Michael Cheika, for instance. Like, I think Czech came out last week and basically said he cannot believe that he's not going on Allianz tour. Like, the people in the game recognise how great he is. And, we were up against it yesterday dealing with George. But I thought, by and large, the guys did a great job in trying to contain him. But how they contained him was all around the collision work, around the breakdowns, trying to slow it up, winning collisions around the tackle area and things like that, so that he can't play necessarily on the front foot as often as he would like.
One thing I'll say as well is a bit like when we speak about DuPont on the podcast is, with Fordy, every team he's played in, teams have probably gone, he's a really good player. Let's shut him down. Let's do our defensive game plan around him. And he still shines, which just tells you how good he is.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad we've had that rant. But the one thing I will say, as always, George, being the great guy he is, was very gracious in defeat and had a nice chat with him after. Obviously, he was gutted. Of course he was. But as always, a great human being. We've got a question from Sean Van Gra. Was it hard watching Bath game on Friday night without thinking too far ahead? And what is the plan to stop Bath? That's an interesting question from Sean Van Gra.
Well, Ben and Sean, we didn't actually get to use the move last week against Sale where I was ready for the crossfield. So let's just say it's still in the playbook. No, it wasn't hard to watch Bath on Friday night without thinking to the future because, like, I enjoyed that game. I thought it was a hell of a game. Bristol threw everything at them, down to 14 blokes, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I thought it was a hell of a game. I thought it was the passion of the two teams going at each other. Really, both wanted to win, but Bath's quality saw them through. And that second half, Bath just took control of field position, and they're deadly so they scored like 200 tries this year. There's something, they know how to finish, and yeah, they're a great team. But no, I watched that game, and I wasn't thinking about the final. I was thinking about that game, and then it's quite easy to detach yourself from that game and focus on our game the next day. And yeah, our game plan for Bath, it's being installed this week. We've had a nice day of recovering on Sunday. The coaches will be working hard, watching as much rugby as possible to get it under their, to get it ready for Monday.
We've got a question from David Cow. How will you use your Twickenham and finals experience to help your teammates this week?
Like we do probably every week. I think, there's a bit of, I don't know, I always find like that sort of stuff, like it's guys who've got to experience it themselves, because sometimes it's like, you'll feel this emotion, this moment. Like you don't want to ever impose your thoughts and feelings on somebody else and tell them how they should feel. You know what I mean? Like you go to a final, it's like, oh, you should feel nervous, or you should feel confident. You should feel. It's like, feel how you feel. Like you're going to feel something, and no matter how you feel, it's all right. Let's just focus on what we have to do. Ultimately, with the final, the game stays the same in the fact that we're going to play for 80 minutes or longer than that on a pitch, 15 on 15, hopefully, for the whole entire time. But the game is the game. With finals, it's probably more not distractions, but what goes on, like the media interest will be more, there'll be a lot more questions and stuff. So it's just about managing, in our experience, but about managing, trying to keep your week as normal as possible without, because we've had it before, haven't you, where you go to finals and it's like, oh, it's not a final. Don't worry, it's not a final. And it's like, prep like it's not a final. And then the other ones where it's like, oh my God, it's a final. And it's like, it's a final. It's important. You're never going to get this moment back. But at the same time, it's a game of rugby. We're all there for a reason, because you're good enough to play, and we've worked hard this year. Embrace it. Enjoy playing at Twickenham. Enjoy playing in front of X amount of people. Enjoy the week's build up, because this is a privilege to do it. You get 1 week to do it in your life. 1 week a year, potentially, if you're good enough. And we've got that opportunity. So embrace it, enjoy it. But ultimately, just play your game.
Your mind and your body will get yourself ready for the game, because it's a massive game, and your body will be preparing for it. You'll feel it, you'll sense it. Your mind will be extra focused because you can't ignore it, and it's great. It's why you do the game. It's why you play it. You want these weeks, like, do you know what I mean? This is exactly why we do it, Coley. We want it, and you know what? I love it. I look around the change room that we have and the dressing room we have, and it's stacked full of people that have been there and done it, and that's something to be said for that. There is a lot of people in our squad that have played in finals, not only in the Premiership final, have played in World Cup finals, have played in multiple finals in different competitions, and all those experiences make a big difference. And it becomes a bit infectious towards the others that haven't done it. But you say, Coley, there's no right way or wrong way of doing it, but it'll be a great week, and everything's a little bit more heightened, and it's why we do the thing we do. It's an absolute privilege. And actually, there's one player who knows a thing or two about winning a Premiership final, and we had to get him on, mate. Like, he's kicked the arse out of this, and we thought, do you know what? We get into him, and there's one more opportunity. Given the fact that it's the final this weekend, we thought, let's roll out the red carpet. Let's give him one more moment to really hammer home how he single-handedly won us the Premiership final in 2022. It is, of course, the one and only Freddie Burns.
Yes, how are you, boys?
We're good, mate. I tell you what, Fred, given it's finals week,
yeah,
there's only one man that we can call upon.
I honestly,
to come in.
Thanks so much for making me relevant again for one more week. It literally means the world. The minute you boys that final whistle went yesterday, I went, yes, I got some work coming.
Oh, you're gonna have 50 corporate boxes to go to this weekend before kickoff,
Mate,
right?
give them to me.
How are you, mate? You keeping well?
I'm good. I'm dusty after yesterday.
Yeah, you were flying into it, weren't you?
Mate, I went up. Leicester looked after me and the family, and then our old mate Harry Ellis just kept sending siders down to me in the first half. I think he sent about 5 down to me, and by the end of it, I'm there in that after players function thing, like I'm still playing, mate, giving it large. I was one more beer. Coley, I was one more beer away from being on the table singing Country Roads Take Me Home, mate.
Oi, destroy a classic. To be fair, Fred, that story is quite epic on this podcast. So if you do want to give your side of events, then this is your chance. But if you'd rather just brush over it, that is equally fine as well.
The thing is, when I'm in Japan, I said yesterday, Lenny, when I'm in Japan, your podcast goes out while I'm asleep. So I wake up to say 20, 30 messages thinking, and I wake up and I think, oh my God, someone's died. Something's happened, in a panic. And it's just you two taking the piss out of it. And then I did bump into a good old Becky in Bali. And she brought it up. So you're global, lads. You're global.
We've got to Bali. She's aware of it.
Yeah, she did bring it up. That was a very awkward drink or two. And I had the shits after I met her. So I said, let's go for a drink. And then I got Bali belly. So I don't know whether she spiked me or not. But either way, it's a bit awkward. How are you, Coley? Right?
Yes, thanks, Red. I'm good. Yeah, I'm just going to apologise for dining out on your stories for the past year and a half.
Hey, don't apologise, mate. It keeps me, trust me, it keeps me relevant, boys. I ain't stupid. You know what I mean? I'm like a bang average rugby player, just getting all these big names, just talking about. I'm loving it, mate.
Things don't happen to lads like you, Fred, do they?
God. I tell you now, that is one of those where I don't take it back. But if there was like the emotions after that final whistle were just there, so I was just like, you know, I don't know, you're just chucking out lines, and then suddenly now, 2 years later, they're biting you in the ass. But I think I meant it more in the fact that, because I had to wait till I was 32 to actually win it. Like, you know, I've just not, I knew that was my only chance. So the minute it came, and then even at the end when Scotty got yellowed in that game, I thought, oh, it's gone. And then suddenly it obviously came back to do what we did. But yeah, it was one of those where the emotions get the better of you, Coley. I'm not like you. You're very controlled of your emotions. I am up and down.
Fred, I have got some bad news to tell you. Me and Coley did this. We did an event, and Prem Rugby were there. And they were talking about like the greatest moments, and they're like, "Can you not mention Freddie's drop goal?" He said, "Because that's been overplayed, and we've got to move on at some point."
Yeah, there's been like a directive from the top that people are talking about it too much. Still, 3 years after it's happened, it was like,
so Freddie,
right.
You've only got a short window left.
Why
mate.
are they trying to cancel me already? I haven't done anything.
I don't know, mate.
Why are they trying to? Just let me live. Well, I reckon, boys. I reckon this weekend. You got the shot to do the underdog story and make something special, because everyone's just talking about sort of Baths already in a way, aren't they? So we don't need to give them any ammo from your side, but obviously you read a lot of the papers there and all that. It's all just Bath's name's already on the trophy. So I'm excited to see you boys go down and take a swing at it, because it is a free swing, really, isn't it?
It is, mate. Who are you going to be supporting this weekend, Fred? Because obviously you've paid for both clubs. Are you going to do the old half Bath jersey, half Leicester jersey, and stitch it up the middle? Is Donna going to get the sewing kit out?
No, boys. No, I'm Leicester through and through. I'll be honest with you. I think genuinely, and the Bath fans. Oh God, what I said, boys. The Bath fans are going to. I still live in Bath. My house is going to get torched. Oh no. No, I tell you what it is. I think I have huge respect for both, being a Bath boy, but I think when we achieved what we achieved that year, it kind of bonds you together a little bit tighter. You know, when I was at Bath, I didn't have the best of time of it. There's players in that Bath squad that I would love to see win it. You know, sort of Tom Dunns that have done it for, like, you know, homegrown, been there through the tough times. Even like someone like Yulsey. I remember Yulsey being captain when we were terrible. At Bath, and sort of always sticking his hand up. So I'd like to see those boys like win it. It's kind of win-win for me, but I'll be rooting for Leicester. Yeah, it's just that's where I feel my allegiances lie.
Fred, how did you find the atmosphere yesterday, mate? Going back to the stadium, watching the semi-final, like how did you find the whole day?
But I tell you now, unbelievable, because I've not been up there for a competitive game. So the club sent a message, and the club looked after me and the family, so we got the train up. And you forget it's so easy to forget how big a club it is and how special it is. Like, what was it, 20-odd thousand there yesterday? The atmosphere was unbelievable. Before the game, when you boys did that, did you see me? I was hoping you saw me on that. What do you call it? The prowler walk.
Oh, the flare on the bridge
Mate.
thing. Yeah, we were doing the Tiger Prowl. Unfortunately, Fred, I didn't see you, but straight away as we got in, lads like, you see Burnsy on the bridge. I was like, what? He was like, he was waving a flare around. I was like, you what? He's like, yeah, he was waving this big flare. I was like, brilliant.
Boys, the bloke thinks he's a football hooligan. He's got a flare. Freddie, I hope you drop kick the flare into the stand, into the crowd as well. Just let them know that you've still got
Well,
it.
I think someone got hit with the wire that I pulled out the thing of it down below. But anyway,
Well, what's the crack then? Tell me how that unfolded.
So we've gone up on the train with the parents, had a few beers. Like, I was pretty good. I was at the hotel. I seen Julian before the game, and I was like, I had a little chat. And then we go up to the hospitality, and I'm chatting to Andrea. And Andrea goes, you could come out on the bridge and watch the boys do the Prowler Prowl, was it?
Tiger Prowl.
That's the one, right? And so I was like, sweet. So I've gone out there, and like, lucky I got a great reception from the crowd when they looked out. It was like brilliant. Like, it was nice for the old ego. But then obviously you boys come out, and I get tapped on the shoulders. Andrew, she's like, let this go. And you know me, I was like, no, please, I don't want to. No, please. Like, don't. Not
Take my eyes,
not
please.
me, please.
But all right, what do I have to do?
And it's next time I've been whacked, this flare. Out comes the green stuff, and I'm having a rave, and then, some of the boys see me, and I was praying Coley you'd see me. I was praying just because I was like, he's just going to shake his head and be like, what is this muppet doing? But it was good fun, mate. It was good fun. But what a game, and what an atmosphere. And yeah, it does make you miss it. Like, being in Japan's been great, but you watch that game and you just think, and I'll be honest with you, I watched it and I thought, I don't think I could do it now. Like, the ferocity, the physicality was just unbelievable.
How's life in Japan been, Fred?
Mate, it's big class. Like I tell you, I think it's an experience I feel like I'd love a lot of people to have. You kind of play with these Japanese guys that are just unbelievably committed, and then every team has their superstars. Do you know what I mean? So we played D-Rocks the other weekend, and it's like Samu Karevi, Israel Folau, was meant to be Jasper, but he's injured. So like every team has like three pretty class players. So you've got to stop them and try and help your Japanese boys get the best out of them. So it's a whole different ball game going into the games. It's not just, I look after myself. You're like, right, how can I help everyone else out?
I hear that this year you basically took all the awards at the end of the season, mate. You cleaned up. Is this right? Are my facts right?
I mean, yeah, Lenny, yeah. Okay, yeah. I can't say no. The funny thing is in Japan, the end of season awards was a very dry affair. It's very proper. It's like 2:00 on a Monday. There's no beers. Bar the Toshiba boys that won, your Richie Mwangas and that came in. They were absolutely, because they put the finals on a Sunday over here, so they won it. Been out all night, came to the awards, and they're like cracking up tinnies while I'm sat on my table with like an orange juice because the company says you're not allowed to drink. And then rather than do it where you get up and you go through, like, from your table to collect your award, they escort you off, and then you sit off stage, and then they'll send you on, and you have to bow and get it. So every time I come off the stage, I'm thought, I'll go back to my seat. I saw all these little desserts being served. I didn't have any, mate. I was just sat on the side of this. I was just sat in this little room for an hour and a half waiting to keep going up and getting the awards. I won't complain, boys.
Cleaning up,
I won't
mate.
complain.
Fred, what did you win?
Top try scorer.
Yeah.
Top point scorer.
Yep.
Players player. So players choice. So from everyone else in the league.
Yep.
And MVP.
You're a Japanese rugby legend, mate.
Honestly, go down in shocky folklore, mate. Me. It was an emotional goodbye, mate. All the Japanese lads are they're so so in the last game we lost, we didn't make promotion. They're all apologising like it's their fault. Do you know what I mean? And you're kind of like I wasn't the best in that last
Yeah,
game.
you were like,
And
yeah,
then
it was,
also-
lads. I've been dragging you by the bootlaces to this final, mate, and then like you've let me down. I'm MVP. I'm top point scorer. I'm top try. I can't do anything else, lads. Do you want me to fucking scrum?
Mate, well, like I did in the 22 final way, Cole. He did it all, didn't I?
Yeah, exactly,
Scrum,
mate.
balls, all that.
You did the lot, mate.
No. So honestly, it's berserk, mate. Like and they're so humble and so like they feel like they've let everyone down. And you're like that thing. You go, come on, boys. Like Jesus, like, we lost on points difference by 5 points. We would have got promoted if we had 5 more points to our name, and we didn't. So like they left everything out there, but they're just so apologetic and so like that. It's kind of a little bit awkward at times. But I was lucky, like shocking, honestly. Great bunch of boys. I made some great friends over there. Got to do it with Gaskell again, which was good. So Jammer was the captain. So we had like a really good relationship, good group of foreign boys, but it was the right time to move on and try something else.
Where you going next then, Fred? Because Leicester need a 10.
I did text Jeff. As soon as Jeff got the job, I did just drop him a text just to say, oh, well done, mate.
Did you
all
send
the
him a
best.
clip of the drop goal at the same time? Just FYI.
No, I sent him my Japanese Division 2 highlights. I said, mate, of me playing behind the bins in Nagoya. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, Jesus, he's still got it. No, I've got something lined up that I can't say just yet. I told you about it yesterday, Lenny.
Yeah, no,
I can't officially say it yet.
No, you don't need to say
but
it
it's
yet.
It's kind of a funny deal in the fact that it's a deal that would allow me to go and play elsewhere if the opportunity arose and a team was happy for me to do both. So I'm in that thing at the minute where I started this new club next month, and then it's kind of just we'll just see if anything else comes up. If not, I'll just be at this new club. But it's an exciting challenge, this new club. I am looking forward to just saying what it is, but you've got to respect them and their wishes. So I can't. I'll give you boys the exclusive when it comes out, boys. But yeah, it's pretty left field. Let's just say that.
Nice, Fred. Well, mate, we're definitely going to have you on because everyone wants you on. So we're going to do a Q&A episode with you and get you in the studio. I know you're around for a while, so we're getting that booked in. I spoke to you yesterday about that. Thanks for joining. But before you go, Fred, last question. What is your memories of 2022? Like winning that final and just like everything about that.
For me, like the reason why I probably dined out on 2022 so much is because of the time it took me to get there. It was like, do you know what I mean? Like I've been at Gloucester, been at Leicester, I went to Bath, went to Japan, and like you have a brilliant career, but you always want that one. Like it was always one that I wanted. I think the group that we had that year was pretty special. You know, it's similar to this year, I'd imagine, with obviously you two calling it a day at the end, Julian moving on, Polly moving on. It's like you want to have those memories with that group of people. And that year was just special. I think everything that sort of the group went through was massive. And that day at Twickenham in front of 80,000 to just win it is with your mates. And I remember, Coley, being on the back of the bus with you. And we got loose, but it was kind of one of those, the sense of relief was the overpowering. I remember sitting there and we got steaming and we're partying, but we didn't have to like chase it like I had the 12 years before. You just sort of sat there and oh my God, like we've done it. Like, and I was just, for me personally, I was like, I can't believe I can now even retire as like a Premiership champion. So I think that's the thing, mate. It's about the bonds, it's about the people, it's about the club. So when you get it done, it's just an immense feeling. And yeah, I just hope you boys can get it done and you two get the send-off that you both deserve from Leicester.
Thank you, Fred. You're absolutely awesome. I mean, we will continue to talk about you on this podcast.
Please do.
In great ways and bad ways, whichever basically makes great listen. But Fred, we will get you on for a full episode where you can share all your versions of events rather than just listening to mine and Coley's version of events. So Fred, thanks so much for joining, mate. And I'm guessing you're there on Saturday, no?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be doing some work, mate.
He's just doing all the boxes. He's got like Leicester shirt on. Quick, swap it to a Bath one. Swap it to a Leicester one. So
there is a rumour that you're coming on with the match ball pre-game, walking onto the halfway line and doing.
Could you?
Parachute in.
Premier Rugby listed. Please let me do it full kit. Imagine me full 2022 kit. Full 2022 kit. With the match ball.
Oh, so good.
Let me just take a restart. Do you know, quickly, I know we've got to wrap up. Boys, in Japan this year, I tried 5 drop kicks and I missed them all. I've not been able to hit a drop kick since that day. It's been brilliant. It's been brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
Right, lads.
Cheers, Freddie.
Brilliant.
Right, boys, I'll speak soon. I'll see you in the weekend.
Will do, mate. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Coley, how good was that? I mean, it was great seeing Fred over the weekend anyway. But to have him pop on, and we will get him on for a full episode, but just such a lovable character, Freddie, honestly, what a bloke. So very good to see him and very good to have him on here briefly.
Love Freddie. He's one man that I think appreciates just getting mentions, and that's what I love about him. So yeah, I look forward to seeing him on Saturday. Then, Josh Butler scored 96 at the weekend, which tells me the Crowd Network team of podcasts had a great sporting weekend. For the Love of Cricket launches tomorrow, so let's hear the trailer.
Look at that bad boy. Portable steamer. Off the toe, that. But we'll take it.
Oh, no! You were so early on that.
Well, I was early.
We've got a question from Will Routledge. Who's packing the skiing goggles this weekend?
I actually read an article about this earlier on today. Totally separate. But yeah, it's basically how sportsmen now wear these ski goggles, don't they? I think it started in the NFL, probably started the MLB, and it's now just infected sport all over. Basically, I read it started apparently with David Ortiz, who was a batsman for the Red Sox when they won the World Series in 2004. But he actually, because the year before, I think he'd been told how someone got sprayed, champagne got sprayed in their eyes and it stung for the next 24 hours. So he actually brought out a pair of swimming goggles for celebrations. So I thought, if we win, I'm going to wear swimming goggles.
Can you make sure you put on the swimming hat as well?
Don't need it, mate. We've got a message from Tom Heine, is how I'm going to say that. I can't believe that as a lifelong Saints fan and sworn enemy of the Tigers, I now find myself caught in the last dance's shenanigans. And I want you two, not Tigers, just you two, to win. Come on, lads.
Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you, mate. That's all I can say. Thank you very much.
And we got a question from Jenny. Does Cheika know about the Cockerell bus story?
Does Cheika know about the Cockerell bus story? No.
I will be telling him this week, though. I will be saying, just, can we make sure the bus, we get there on time? I've just got some couple of finals I've been in. We've turned up late. They haven't gone too well. Can we just get there? If boys don't mind being there a bit early, it's fine.
Yeah, Coley, you're going to have to remind him because we don't want anyone stuck in a lift and we don't want to get like the route access denied and do a cockers cock up. But did you see the England cricket team the other day? They use line bikes because the traffic was that bad. So worst case scenario, like since that incident happened, you know, we've got other means of transport now.
They did that. I remember chatting to Genji on the back of the bus. It was in the autumn. I think we played Australia, but like there was traffic works in Richmond and it took forever. And Genji was like, next week, I'm gonna tell Steve we need to get line bikes to the game. And it was just like, Genji, let's just think about this for a minute, mate. And he was like, yeah, I'm like, let's just turn up late. It's fine.
Big shout out to Genji, what a man. And finally, a question from Jay Bexton, who simply says, one more season. That's it. One more season, Coley?
No. One more season of the podcast, hopefully many more, yeah.
Well, there we go. Right, on Thursday, Coley, we've got the guide to Premiership Final. It's got some cracking stories on it. It's got lots of memories from when we've played in it. It's going to be a really good episode. Enjoy that, people. So that will come out on Thursday.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favourite episodes. Obviously, we're fairly busy this week, but everything people need to know about the final will be in there.
It also includes the great story from Freddie Burns, which was briefly mentioned earlier in today's episode. So see you then.
Goodbye.